Okay, folks, you're very welcome to our webinar on the Sage 50 Enhanced Query Tool, AccountsMate. My name is Tom Shields. I'm the Operations Director here at Pimbrook. Just a little bit of housekeeping. There's quite a few attendees due to come on to this. There's a few still joining. So if you have any questions, if you can pop them into the chat box, you'll find it there, and I'll try and answer them at the end of the session. If you can't find the chat box, if you have any problems, you can email me. I'll give you my email at the end as well. Right, so we've been developing AccountsMate over the past year, and we've trialed it also with a couple of our clients and got some great feedback. So I'm very excited to be able to show it to you today. AccountsMate, the name comes from a worker's mate or a builder's mate, where it can help you do your job, and most of you people are involved in accounts, so that's where the name came about. It's a configurable tool, query tool. So the structure of this presentation will be, I'm going to show you quickly what its main features are, and then I want to show you some of the uses that it can be put to. And these were based on some of our work with real users, some of our clients that we trialed them with. I see actually a few users are here on attending today. Thank you very much. And also we've used it in-house here with our accounts team. Okay. So let's start off by looking at the features. I'm going to play to the audience here and start off with something that probably will interest you all. It's free. I can hear some people probably screaming at the screen now. What's the catch? There is, but not to any of you people. It's free to all our clients that have a Sage 50 support contract with us. Some features, some extra features that will be given to people with a premium contract, and I can point them out. So why have we done this? Basically, we wanted to allow you to get more from the Sage 50 data. We have over 600 Sage 50 clients, and we've been supporting them for quite a number of years. And one of the most common queries we get is, how do we get information out of Sage 50? So we felt a tool like this would really help. We believe we offer one of the best Sage 50 support services in Ireland, and we want to keep improving this. So adding something like this tool, we feel will help do that. In return, we hope we can increase our sales of our service through recommendations from people like yourself, which we have done in the past. Right. If we go on to some of the software features in the tool, it's an enhanced query tool, which will allow you to create configurable views to suit specific tasks that you want to do. And this is done by, we allow this by giving you access to more data fields than you can currently get from the standard Sage 50. And we allow filtering, sorting, totaling, and grouping of data. And we allow you to analyze the transactional data into summaries, so across periods, for example. You can easily export the data and share it. You can produce documents from any information that you expose. And it gives access to more users. So any local users in your office that currently doesn't have access to or doesn't have Sage 50 can be given AccountsMate, and they can do certain things within that, have access to the data within that. So for example, your front of house reception staff could look up account details. Customer service staff can look at information. Warehouse staff might look at stock information, that type of thing. Typical users that probably wouldn't have Sage 50 currently. Also, it will work over a remote network. So you give it to remote users, potentially sales reps on the road. Finally, there's no Sage software, as I said, required on the PC of the user that's using this. and you don't need an extra Sage license. Okay. So usage, and as I said, this is based on working with some real users here. And to give some context to this, just to remind you that some of these uses you can do in Sage 50 currently, but these can be done now without having access to Sage 50 on the PC. And we believe they're better the way we've constructed it. So you can do account inquiry. So your reception or service staff can look up a customer or supplier account and drill down into their transactions. It can help to produce mailing lists for marketing campaigns or general communications. We can create up-to-date price lists and look up stock information. We've used it quite a bit ourselves in like debt control, so we can focus on the main money that's due. You can assist buying, giving them product information and supplier information. And then management can analyze sales and purchases across periods. All right, so let's hop in and have a look at some software. Right, so the tool itself, AccountsMate, is started from your desktop. It's installed on your desktop and connected to your Sage 50. It's designed, you've got a top toolbar here with some actions. You can, for example, select the company you're in. Down the side here, we've got the main functions. So we've got an overview. We've got customer inquiry, supplier inquiry, product and sales analysis. And if we pop to the first function there, the overview, what this does is it shows you all the total number of customers, total that are active, and suppliers and products. And the second panel here gives you a debtor's position. So a list of debtors and it's aged. You can select the aging and it'll filter them out. This is Sage 50 demo data. So the transaction data is a bit old. And then down the bottom here, you have the creditor's position, which is similar to the debtor. So it's just an overview of your company. If we pop into the customer inquiry, it's a good example of the typical inquiry that we've designed. So they're all designed the same way. Again, you've got a top toolbar with some actions, which we'll talk about later. You've got a main grid here, which in this case is showing you a list of customers. Over to the right here, you've got a panel, which we call the property sheet, which shows you all the information we've exposed, and they're grouped into sections. So we can expand that and show you all the details there. Okay. Down the bottom, you've typically got a second grid, which will show some related data. And in this case, we're showing for this customer, the communications that we had with them as recorded in Sage 50. Okay. So that's how the inquiry screens are typically constructed. So what can you do with this? Right, firstly, you can move, add or delete columns. And what I've done on this particular list here is I've added in analysis code, for example. That's something you can't do on the Sage 50 list views. The analysis code in here shows you the area the customer came from. So we can filter by that, sort by that by just clicking the column or any of the columns. We can filter, so everyone from time and where, and we can do multiple filters with a balance of greater than 3,000. So it's very, very quick to filter sort on that. I'll just clear that filter off. Okay. You can also group by any field. I'll just group all the data there by area. And then just you can drill into that and you can see the customers below that area. Just ungroup that. You can add totals down here. We've added a total count, an average of your credit limit and the balance, and there's others min and max as well. Okay, so that's how you can construct a view of how you want to look at the data. You can save that view then up here in the layout. So I've saved this as account details. I've got others there, the default and a debt collection view, which we'll talk about later. Okay, so configure a view and save that off. Some other things that you can do with the data. We can drill into the, sort that there. So we can drill into the data. If there's information behind that. So I'm drilling into the balance and it's showing me the transactions that are behind that. This has opened up my transaction inquiry. It's again, similar sort of screen. This is like your activity in Sage 50. But down the bottom here, we have other related information. I can still see the customer details and its transactions. I can see if there's an invoice details behind that invoice posting there, right down to the line level. So I can see the quantities, the lines, the products, and the prices. And I can even go back to the order if there was an order attached to it. Okay. I'll just pop back to the customers. We can export any of this information as well to any of the standard export functions. So CSV, or export formats, a Word document, HTML, PDF, and I'll just give an example of Excel. So it opens up Excel and throws out the data as you see it, very, very simply, very quickly. Okay. If your data, for example, you can click on an email address and you can email directly from it. It will open up whatever your default email client is. In this case, it's Outlook, and pull in the email address so you can email directly from it. If you had the web link there, which you can pull on, you can also link straight to their website. And equally, we've got, if you have a phone dialer on your PC, which you can do, you could dial the number there as well. So there's a few things you can go straight from the grid. Okay. Finally, we've got a preview. So this is a document creator. So we've pulled it in here. You can create headers. Okay, I just create a header there, footer information, and make a little document out when it was printed, page 1 of 2. So you can create those. You can print those, save them off, export them again to the various formats if you so wish. Okay. Right. So they're the main things that you can do with AccountsMate. So I just want to go then into and talk about some of the uses that we've seen AccountsMate being put to. So the first one we talked about there was an account inquiry. So I'm going to pop to our suppliers. Again, a similar screen layout. I'm going to open up our account details layout, which is a view we've constructed as I've shown you there. It's with some of the methods. And I can, a front of house person can, or a buyer can now look at, for example, filter analysis code here, it's a type of business. So it's electrical equipment. So I can look up any suppliers of those type. Click onto the supplier itself. We can see any communications I've had down with them. And over to the right here, I've got all their extra information. We can even go down and see the invoice balances across the year and what we paid them across the year. We can also drill in from the balance here, as we showed you, we can drill and see the transactions from here. Okay, so that's a simple account inquiry on suppliers. Obviously, you can do that on customers as well. One of the other functions, and as you know, keep iterating that anyone that has AccountsMate, even if they don't currently have Sage 50, can do this. We'll just do a simple mailing list. So I've created another layout, another view with the address details for the suppliers. I'm going to export that quickly to Excel, as I've shown you. The nice thing about what AccountsMate will do, it will put this into the same area on your PC, this file. So what I've done is in Word, I've just created a template letter. I can open that. It's asking me, do I want to run the mail merge that I've set up? I'm going to say yes. And there we go. There's the letter with the 15 suppliers. So the 15 letters there that I've exported. So very, very simple. I set that up. If you know Word and no mail merge, I set that up in about 5 minutes. And as I said, AccountsMate just allows you to pull out that data very quickly. It's just an example of how you can use that exporting. I'm going to pop to customers again and look at what people have used for debt control. Okay, again, I'm selecting that view that I've set up, and this one it's filtered by a payment date that I want to look at from, and also obviously from anyone that owes us money, so the balance is greater than 0. And I've sorted it to show me the largest amounts outstanding. So from here, as I've shown you, we could ring the customer, we could email the customer directly. We can see, by clicking on the customer, we can see what any communication. So we had a payment reminder, for example, down here. Over to the side, we can open up the invoice details to give us a history of what we've invoiced them and a history of their payments. Okay. We can drill to the transactions as I've shown you. So you're now going to discuss the account with you've called the customer. You want to discuss the account with them. You can pick up one of the invoices there from the activity, look at the invoice details right down to the line. So it's a jet printer for them. And you can even go back and see, how many was ordered and how many was delivered. So you've got all the information in one place there when you're dealing with a customer for debt collection. Okay. Very quickly, just to show you some items you can do in the products area. So I've constructed a price list view, and I've grouped it by category. So we've got our business machines. I'm showing you the selling price, and also I've included in the discount breaks or some of the discount breaks that Sage allows you to set up there. Very quickly, I can preview that, create a little document, which I can now publish or send out to our reps or indeed your customers. Okay, very, very quick, very easy to do. Another area in the products might be a stock list. So you give this to your warehouse staff, right? So I'm just constructed a view here showing the product, the location where it's taken, the stock, what's currently in stock, what's allocated, when it was last purchased, and when it was last stock taken. Okay, very quickly, you can, some people have considered doing is attaching a scanner to the PC, and you could quickly scan into your filter there, and it brings up the one product that you're looking at if you know the code. Okay. Right. Now, an area that has interested a lot of people is the data analysis, and we allow data analysis on sales and purchases. So this particular one here, I'm looking at all sales invoices between this period, January 2017 and December 2018. And I've just constructed a layout that's going to show me total sales broken down by the month. Okay. I can obviously preview that if I wanted to make a little report from that, or I can chart it. Okay. You can change the chart. So I wish, give it a 3D pie chart. Okay. Go back to the query itself. If this is sales value, I can pull in from the top here, I can pull in the quantity, include the quantity for one. So sales value and quantity. I can include the profit. Okay. All right. Wrong place. Okay. So sales value, quantity, and the profit made across the months. Okay, so that's total sales. I can save that if I then wanted to, if that's the view I want. If you wanted a further breakdown of that, you can pop into some other layouts we have, which, for example, customer sales. So I'm now showing all my customers. Again, I'm showing the sales value across the year, across the month. I can collapse the year if I so wish. Okay, or expand the year here. Right. I could bring down the quarter if I wanted. So let's bring in quarter. So year by quarter by month. Okay. Again, I could bring down quantity if I wanted to look at quantity within here, as I've shown you. Okay. So now let's see. I want to now look at what the breakdown of the products that this customer has bought. So we up the top here, I've got the various fields I want to use. So I'll bring down product description. I'll put it in the row here. And I can now drill into all the products that that customer has bought. Okay. And equally, and in the other, I can expand the whole report. Okay. And again, I can preview that into a document if I wished. Okay. Right. That's more or less it. That's all everything I wanted to really cover. I hope you've got something out of that. I'd like to open it up to any questions that people will have. You want to pop them into the chat box there, and I'll try and answer any of them I can. A few questions coming in here. Someone's asked, how does it connect to the Sage data? We connect using ODBC. So it connects directly to the Sage data, and hence that's why you don't need an extra license. Yeah. Someone has said, is there any tools for purchases? Yes, you can, in the same way that you can analyze sales, as we showed you here, you can do the same for purchases. Excuse me. Someone has asked the plan types. Yeah. You can get, we see down the bottom here, this is working off the premium plan. So we offer standard support and we offer premium support. Premium support gives you extra hours that you can use for things like report writing and such, or installing new PCs and that. So if you're on premium, you get all of the functionality that I've just shown you. If you're on standard, you'll get all of the functionality except for the preview, the document creator, and the analysis section. Okay. Yes, someone has asked there, is there any plans to do nominal analysis? Yes, we're working on that at the moment. That's the next feature. We do plan on extending this out to as many of the data areas in Sage 50 as we can, and we'll be releasing that as we create them. So the nominal is coming out very shortly. When we update data on Sage, someone has asked, yes, that'll come straight. I don't know if you've seen on, if you notice there, customers here. So I can, every time I click refresh, it goes back to my Sage. That's it there. So every time I click the refresh, or if I click on a customer, that's sucking in that latest information from Sage. So it's directly connected to Sage when you need it. What about when we update Sage? Someone has asked. Yes, we will keep this up to date. The main, I suppose, technical issue is the ODBC driver. That's the main thing that will, if you like, stop it working. So if you go to a different version of Sage, you'll just have to, we'll just have to change potentially the ODBC driver that connects to it. That's not an issue. Someone has asked, what software is used to develop AccountsMate And do we need a version or license on our machines to run this? We use .NET. It's the, I suppose, the standard Windows Microsoft development environment. And you don't need any, that's runtime comes with Windows, so you don't need any further licenses for that. When can we download? When can we get it? Yeah, good question. It's ready to go. As in the software is ready to go, we're mainly now working on how we can package it to be able to give it to you guys as easily so you can set it up on your PC. So we're hoping certainly before the end of the year, and this group here, everyone that's registered for this website, you'll be the first rollout. So we hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Is it for Sage Cloud or any Sage? At the moment, it's for Sage 50 only. Do users have the same rights as users on Sage, or do we have to set up rights here separately? No, we don't take the rights from Sage because they don't always combine. This is purely inquiry function. So, and the default is when you install it, everyone gets access to all of the information that is being presented. You can, though, in configuration, you can set up roles and limit that, limit the functionalities that people can see. If I'm connected to the server, can this be used? Yes, yeah, it will. It normally connects to your data server on Sage. Sorry, I may have confused. Someone has asked, any plans to extend the software to Sage 50C? Sorry, that may have been related to an earlier question where they said, is it the Sage Cloud? It is all versions of Sage 50, all of the later versions of Sage 50 from version 2025 up, and that includes Sage 50C. This will work with. As someone said, can we run AccountsMate where we don't have an ODBC connected to Sage 50, say in a weak broadband area? You will need a connection to your server, wherever your data is. But you can certainly run that over what do you call a VPN, a virtual private network, or a wide area network. So you could run it on an area in the weak broadband. It won't. There's a fear if you try and run the full Sage across a connection like that, it's not supported because it could corrupt your data. That's because you're updating the data in Sage. This only reads it, so there's no danger of corruption. I would suggest in a weak broadband area, as we have down here in Waterford and places, it just could be quite slow. But once you, for example, if you were looking at products, once you refreshed your data, you could work, you're basically working offline now at this stage. So I can filter, sort, look at the information in here once I don't refresh. So you would get an advantage in using AccountsMate even in that situation. Someone has asked, this is just to view data, or can you make any changes? No, there's not. At the moment, we do not allow. It's purely inquiry based. Would it be useful for purchaser in terms of stock analysis? Yes, I believe so. I'm under products here now, so if we go down, you can see the quantity, for example, the quantity sold over the periods, so by product or over the year. And also the sales analysis that we just showed, if you change that to be quantity based, it'll give a breakdown even by product or or by product and customer, but you could, for example, go to by product category and just see it, but just see it there. Okay, folks, we'll wrap that up. Thank you very much. I'll just pop up my, should have popped up my details here. I'll leave that up for a few minutes. You can contact me with any questions. Any ones that I didn't get to on the chat, we'll export the chat and I'll try and get back to you. Feel free to email me. There's another link there which will show you the more information on AccountsMate. There is a video here, and we'll be recording this video here, and we'll publish it out. So just like to thank you all again.